Ishuboy and Gunu in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, bigger news for you guys. Stay tuned for a very important news because I have a confirmation of a player who's actually signed by Arsenal. I've got proofs, okay? So, moving on. Dennis Bergkamp insists he meant his famous goal for Arsenal against Newcastle. Hell, he said, I got text after that game asking, did you mean it? In my head, there was no question. It was a sequence of little movements which started with the pass that came behind me. You can't call it luck. It's adjusting yourself to what's happening with the ball, with the defender, with the goalkeeper. Then it looked like that. I was happy with it. I don't know who was asking question with it, but that's called class. You know, when you know the football in and out, your body starts reacting to it, and this is what happens. I mean, it's unbelievable. But moving on, the Premier League players have been instructed by the government to keep a social distance between themselves on the field of play wherever possible. This includes the competing athletes and support staff on the bench and field of play, such as during any disputes between players and referees or scoring celebrations. Also, more on this, Premier League clubs are pushing for a transfer window to be kept open until October to maximize times to do business for players. Discussions around opening the window in August, September, and October were held during the meeting with club officials. I hope it's a longer window, but moving on. Well, George Lewis has changed his Instagram profile picture to this. Make whatever you can of this, but it's pretty much clear that George Lewis is an Arsenal player. Imminently, we will just come to know about an official comunicado official from Arsenal. But let's see. Arsenal consider offering David Luiz contract for 2020-2021 on reduced terms. The centre back earns about 120k a week, pounds a week, but if he's prepared to accept an incentivized deal, he could stay for a second year. And also, Arteta will look to make Pablo Mari's loan deal from Flamengo a permanent deal, while he also has Socrates Papastopoulos, Skodran Mustafi, and Callum Chambers at the centre back position. But we'll have to see how that will turn out for Arsenal. And moving on, well, zero positive results from 1,130 samples in the round 4 of Premier League COVID testing. It follows 4 positives from 1008 in round 3, 2 positives from 996 in round 2, and 6 positives from 748 in round 1, total 12 positives from 3,882 tests, and that serves as a very big positive news. Moving on, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has shared a funny Instagram exchange with Socrates. The pair appear to be rowing over how their inter-squad games are referred to as, but let's see. Moving on, the Premier League have confirmed that after the 4th round of testing for coronavirus, they've had no positive results. And the official statement said the Premier League can today confirm that on Thursday 28th May and Friday 29th May, 1,130 players and club staff were tested for COVID-19. Of these, 0 have tested positive. The Premier League is providing this aggregated information for the purposes of competition integrity and transparency. No specific details as to clubs or individuals will be provided by the league, and results will be made public after each round of testing. Olivier Giroud has actually admitted he had a point to prove against Arsenal when the Blues thumped his former team 4-1 in the last year's Europa League final. The Frenchman said, "It was a very special moment, but it was like extra motivation for me because I wanted to show them that I still had some energy in me and some good years left in me. I scored, I got an assist, and I won the penalty. So quite a lot of good things happened there for me because I was involved in 3 goals out of 4 that we scored. It was like a dream because I couldn't have imagined that it would go so well, so perfectly for us. I wanted to win things at Chelsea, and that's why I was even more motivated that night. But winning against your old club like that." Moving on, Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette is reportedly not interested in joining Antonio Conte's Inter Milan as a replacement for Lautaro Martinez. The French forward's Arsenal deal runs until 2022, but he has not always been a regular starter under Mikel Arteta. Conte's Inter has hoped to lure the former Lyon man to Serie A to replace outgoing striker Lautaro Martinez. Martinez is Barcelona bound, but only if the Catalan Giants can cough up £100 million release clause of the Argentinian. But let's see. If Arsenal can lose, then they'll definitely try to lose Lacazette for a good amount of money. But moving on, Richard Masters says there is still work to do as the government gives its thumbs up to the return of sport after nearly 2 months of negotiations. He says All major sports, including the Premier League, have been working together with the Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport to produce this Stage 3 protocol. We could not have reached this point without the support of the government, especially DCMS, Public Health England and Chief Medical Officer's team. We have professionally planned to restart the Premier League on 17th of June, but there is still much work to be done to ensure the safety of everyone involved. This includes consulting with our clubs, players and managers, along with all our other stakeholders, as the health and welfare of our participants and supporters is our priority. If all goes well, we will be thrilled to resume the 2019-2020 season in just over 2 weeks' time. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has given fans a sneak preview into what MTV Cribs with footballers at home looks like. The Arsenal striker and Manchester United midfielder Jesse Lingard shared footage of their home tours. Aubameyang does this iconic open door welcome to the viewer and then plays football with his kids. You can see that. Moving on. Confusion surrounds the need to use neutral venues for Premier League games after statements from two key police forces on Friday. Well, they come after UK's football policing lead Deputy Chief Constable Mark Roberts of South Yorkshire Police had earlier suggested games would be moved at local forces' request. At least 5 top-flight matches have been earmarked to be played at neutral venues, plus any further games where Liverpool could win the title. Among the games picked out were the Merseyside derby, Liverpool's slash away to Manchester City, and Manchester United's home match against Sheffield United. Merseyside police later said there were no objections from the force to holding games at Goodison Park or Anfield in relation to crime and disorder, while Greater Manchester Police said a decision on moving higher risk has yet to be taken. Well, moving on, here's the biggest news that everyone wants to listen to. Ismail Benasser, actually on his sole appearance for Arsenal, says, I was thrown on after 2 or other injuries against Sheffield Wednesday, played wide left in a trident attack, which I had never done before. I felt incredible pressure and wasn't sure what was going on. And he says, I was 17 years old and I couldn't live on my own, so my sister came to live with me. Then the girl I'd been dating since school, who in England would go on to become my wife. And he couldn't adapt to. I mean, he says, I have no regrets as I still got to train with important players like Mesut Ozil and Santi Cazorla. I had 4 years left on the Arsenal contract, but I had to be at a club where they really wanted me. Wow. That's huge, isn't it? Well, talking about the bigger stuff, here's the biggest part. The in-demand wingback, or how should I say this, as a fullback, Achraf Hakimi, will be heading back to Madrid when the Bundesliga season ends, insists his agent. The right back is nearing his the end of the 2-year loan spell with German club Borussia Dortmund and will hold talks with parent club Madrid this summer. And most probably Arsenal can get him, but let's see. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All the views and news and everything about Arsenal comes to this platform every single day, twice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what is coming your way. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers. And don't forget to subscribe. We are on a mission to reach 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Please make it happen by subscribing. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers.